Hi, my name's Daniel Flo, and I'd like to welcome you to episode 7 of The Short Story. A few years ago, a good friend and former colleague taught me a trick. Anytime you read a headline about crime or fraud or money laundering that involves crypto or some other kind of digital asset, you should stop and ask yourself the question, does this headline read the same and still make sense if I take out digital currency or digital asset and replace it with US $100 bill? And if you can reread the sentence with US $100 bill in place of crypto or whatever other digital asset is mentioned in the article, then what you're reading is not really anything new, despite what the author of the article would have you believe. So the IMF has said that there are more US $100 bills in circulation than there are US $1 bill, and that 80% of those large denomination US banknotes are in circulation outside of the United States. Even more surprisingly to me, as many of our lives become increasingly cashless, is that the quantity of those large denomination US banknotes is growing outside of the United States. Now, I'm sure there are many legitimate reasons that someone might want to have a large quantity of high value foreign banknotes squirreled away somewhere. But far more likely is the idea that these banknotes are probably being used for illicit activities. So earlier this year, Margot Patrick at the Wall Street Journal published an expose detailing the billions of dollars in physical currency that were being smuggled, almost certainly illegally and illicitly, through a single flight corridor between London's Heathrow and the Dubai airport. So one airport doesn't scan checked baggage for physical currency. The other airport doesn't require newly arrived visitors to establish source of funds so long as they declare the physical currency when they land. So Patrick's story focuses on a single money launderer based in Dubai, who is currently serving a 10-year prison sentence, by the way. But this money launderer and smuggler would recruit mules to haul his physical currency for him. He tended to recruit them from the United Kingdom, and then he would fly them into the UAE business class to take advantage of the airline's incredibly liberal checked baggage policies for passengers in business class. And it's crazy to picture these mules sipping champagne in first class while underneath in the aircraft was stowed 7 suitcases per person stuffed full of physical currency. The authorities estimate that in a 4-month period in 2020, this money launderer's mules smuggled over $100 million on the Heathrow to Dubai route alone. All this is not to say that governments aren't taking the threat of money smuggling and money laundering via physical currency seriously. So a few years ago, in a move described as shock and awe monetary policy, Modi, the Indian PM, demonetized the 2 largest bills in Indian physical currency with 4 hours notice. So people had 4 hours to go to the bank and trade in their highest denomination bills for stacks of lower denomination bills. And incidentally, while they were there, declare the source of those funds and where they had come from. It was estimated that prior to this move by Modi, that 20% or more of the Indian economy operated in the shadows, unregulated and untaxed. By taking away those 2 largest bills out of circulation, India took a huge step forward in making money laundering and illicit transactions with physical currency harder and more cumbersome to do. And not just India has taken steps here. So the European Union took the 500 euro note out of circulation shortly after Canada took the $1,000 note out of circulation. And even before that, Singapore decided to demonetize their 10,000 Singaporean dollar note. So many governments are taking good and constructive steps here to focus not just on crypto and digital assets, but also on physical banknotes as a means of money transport, smuggling, and laundering. I'll leave you with this thought. Despite much of the pearl clutching and fear mongering about cryptocurrency and about other digital assets, just always remember that the original, entirely anonymous and untraceable form of currency was sponsored by governments thousands of years ago and continues to be sponsored and endorsed by them today. So you have the OG, untraceable and anonymous form of currency in your wallet right now. Thank you for joining us for episode 7 of The Short Story. We're so glad that you came. Please look below for links on the article I mentioned and many of the other sources that we covered in the story today.